welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is June 4th, 2018, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, starting out at 3:30 South African time, coming out of Australia, retail sales. Now that's an important number. We'll take a look at that. And then at 10:30 South African time, construction PMI number coming out from Great Britain. We'll take a look at the British pound as well. Lots happening in the markets, and let's take a look. So we're jumping here into the Euro USD, and we finally got our V formation last week. Okay, it capitulated down to 115.28, as you can see, and finally we bounced off of it to 116.91. Now we're at resistance, previous supportish level, as you can see here on a daily chart. If we look at a weekly chart, you can see that a little bit better because we've tried to, break above this a couple of times. This is really an important number. What I think we're going to happen is today is that we're going to continue this little rally. We might not get back to the 118-ish level right overnight, but I think we're going to trickle up as the GBP has been taking us higher versus the dollar. Okay, initially we've got the GBP bouncing versus the dollar, and I think the rest of the currencies are going to follow suit. Now, if we jump just really quickly to the Aussie dollar. Now, I was talking about the retail sales that came out earlier this morning. Very positive feedback to it, as you can see, jumping from 75.65 to 76.22. That's a nice jump of 70 so pips just this morning. Okay, so this wave of different currencies, starting to pick up a little bit versus the dollar is starting to take effect. So it's starting with the Aussie dollar, the GBP, and the euro. So the euro may play catch up, okay, towards where the Aussie has already bounced to. So that's something to look at further today as we continue trading. Now looking at the Swiss franc, we're there at support line, and we breached it previously, okay, and we're really flirting with it. Okay, we haven't really breached it on a severe level on the downside, but we look like we're really respecting it. So I would look for a little bit of a bounce here. Okay, maybe not get too aggressive until we do get the confirmation, but we are at the trend line. Okay, so it could go one of either ways, but momentum is still on the upside. We may not break the one, but we may bounce off of this. So that's what I would look for in the Swiss franc. Now jumping back to the Aussie dollar, as you can see, we've bounced nicely to 76.22. Now if we look at a weekly chart, that's significant because the 75 level was a really great support level. Okay, on the upside we can continue up until 77. That's our real next resistance level. So this can continue its upwards rally as we've gotten stronger. Jumping into the USD CAD, we've been bouncing around between this 130 and 128-ish level. We're right here almost at the middle, but we're looking like we're making a higher low here, and it has been choppy. And the reason it's been choppy is because obviously the price of oil has been receding a lot. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But as you can see, every time we want to take it up higher to 130-ish level, it falters. So this may be at the top of its range here and may correct itself on the downside. Now jumping into gold just quickly, we receded back to below 1300. Now at this stage, okay, we're at support level. If we do continue break this down, we could definitely see a further decline down to 1270. Now this is partial in relation to the fact that the equity markets are very strong. The stock markets are still very strong, and we'll take a look at one or two stocks in just a moment. But as you can see, altogether, this looks like it's still weak. So if we do breach this 1291, which is support level, we could definitely see it going down to 1270. So keep it on your radar. Now jumping into the Turkish lira, again, it's been rallying once more after this correctional move down to 444. We're bouncing to 463. Now this is a little bit more difficult when you're position trading it. It's more geared for scalpers, especially because the movements are intraday wise are pretty strong and pretty severe, and therefore it's a little bit harder to stay with the trend. I think right now we were looking for a spot where we would come towards and kind of level out at, and this was the level 444. Now we're at 463. Does that mean that we've exceeded and exhausted our move on the upside? Perhaps not. Okay, so you got to look for this and to see how this is going to continue trading into the next move. We may see like it trading within a new range between 463 and 444. Okay, so you got to take that into consideration at that as that continues to trade further today. Now looking at oil, we breached our $66 a barrel range. Okay, as you can see previously here, just let's highlight it. We had a resistance, and then subsequent support, and we breached it right there. Okay, this is where we've breached it. So you got to keep an eye on this right here, okay, to see if it does continue either on the downside, okay, on our support level 64.41 and resistance here at 66. So keep an eye on that as that continues to trade today. Okay, looking into looking into the first week of June, this is summer trading. Okay, so just be aware of it. It's maybe a little bit lighter, and it's also expiration for most of the future symbols that we have on the market watch, including some of the indices, obviously some of the commodities, okay, but just be aware of it, because if you look below, you'll see the JSE is a June contract and it expires this month. So just be aware that we're going to send you a calendar exactly when the contracts expire. Now jumping into the Dow Jones, we're pretty much leveled off here at 24,670. We haven't really done much. My guess is, okay, my inclination is that we're going to go higher. And the reason that I say that is that if you look at the stocks, they're going out higher. Okay, they're breaking out higher and have some tremendous side on the upside. Okay, I still think that we're strong. I still think that we're going to carry it through. It's just a matter of time. Now, if you jump to Facebook for a second and just to look at it, it's at 193. It's at all dead highs, right there, and it's with some momentum. Okay, as opposed to just a wick, it's got a candle body. Okay, which means that there's some decent buying there. All right, now what I'd like to see is some follow through and break out to the high side, okay, and make new highs for the year. Okay, that's what I'd really like. As you can see here, we've faltered down to 149 and then boom, 193. All right, so this is not, the stock is not, it's not like Mark Zuckerberg was in front of the EU and in front of Congress. It's not complaining, and it's saying that we're still very strong and the company is very strong and we're going to go head forward. And this is a big component of the Dow Jones, obviously, and the American economy, because it's one of the larger bellwether companies in the United States. And if it's doing well, then that reflects on the rest of the economy as well. So keep an eye on that as this continues to break out on the high side, and you might want to consider it as the market opens in the United States at 4:30 South African time. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.